right? We gather that, right? I mean, it could be just harassing, you know, telling you how you look, telling you what they want to do with you, without touching. And they will say, oh, I didn't touch you. Yeah, but why can't I pass you without you saying something nasty to me? Right, so it's a lot of different situations. I'm gonna pull up some videos and we're gonna dissect. We're gonna dissect this.
It's a little blurry.
It's getting
It's
clearer
blurry.
though.
Do you want me to turn the light off in the back, or?
You can.
Before fibromyalgia, I was active. I was energetic. Then the chronic.
I'm just gonna
Skip ad. Just skip.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Here's my chin. I'll try it.
Look at Chanel.
Oh,
man.
How old are you, Michelle?
I know him.
8. You're awful big for an 8-year-old. You know, girls these days develop faster than they did when I was growing up. I think it's only steroids they put in the food these days. You know what it means to develop?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Well, what it means is that one day you're going to fill out like a grown woman. And in about 2 or 3 years, you're going to be stacked up just right. There's nothing to be afraid of. When the time comes, you'll be more happy about it.
Mommy?
Free.
Hey, baby girl, you ready? Don't you forget your pajamas. You know your mama gonna pay to get back. You all right, precious?
What movie is this?
That is actually from.
Ready? How you doing?
You know, the first time I saw him, I had him pegged. A dog will always avoid eye contact when they fuss. But a snake will never show weakness. Nowadays, you got internet predators coming into your house, coming after your babies. But back in the day, though, we had gorillas. Snakes.
Can we watch that movie?
What was that called?
Women
That is Woman Thou Art Loose. We did study the book. I don't know if we watched the movie.
No. Can we watch the movie?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, we're going to be watching some clips. How we get there? Like, okay, so what just happened?
That
Huh?
was called grooming.
Harassment.
It's called grooming. That's how they.
Well, I don't know if I would call that grooming. What's what did
Little
Made
girl
her
was
feel-
feared.
She said the little girl was scared.
she was scared. She knew something wasn't right? She knew that he shouldn't be talking to her the way he was talking to her, right?
Women like
Yeah. What I would say grooming is, usually grooming, if he was grooming her, he would be nice to her.
And she would have felt comfortable.
And she would feel comfortable. So he would be like, Michelle, what are you doing? He may have bought her a gift, bought her a doll or something, bought her a gift, and and be nice to her, get her to like her, build her trust. Then he goes in for the kill.
Yes.
So that's not. He was just plain out trifling.
Letting her know his intentions probably
Right.
in a subtle way.
Right, the way his voice, you know, the way, right? And anybody know who that was?
I can't think of his name.
No, not the actor, but who he was to the girl.
His uncle, her
Her
uncle.
Her
mother's
uncle.
boyfriend?
Her
Oh,
mother's boyfriend.
mother's boyfriend.
Right, and that's what happened to a lot of people, where the mother brings the boyfriend. She's not home, right? Just her 8-year-old daughter, and the boyfriend in the house. So she gives this man access
To her daughter.
to her 8-year-old, and that's what happened. Huh?
She should go to jail.
Right, endangering the welfare of a child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is, right? But and this is a whole different topic where so many women are more interested in having a man than protecting their children.
There's different situations.
Right.
Like with my daughter Veronica and Kristen's father, when that happened, I was with him for over 6 years. And I didn't have no indication that he was like that, and he wasn't like that until Veronica started developing.
Right.
So, I mean, I
You
didn't
was watching her
know.
before that.
I didn't know. I mean, it's like I didn't know. So really, they don't give you no indication. Like she said, they're snakes, and they really are. They're
And
chameleons.
then if you think about it, sometimes you're so blinded by love that you don't see it.
Right.
You don't want to see it,
Right.
but it's there the whole time.
Okay. I want to set some ground rules. If you want to share your own story, that's fine.
Names.
But don't share other people's story, even if it's your daughter. Okay? You know, feel free to share, but don't share another person's story. And I'm not picking on you, but I just don't want to. I should have said it up front, because.
Well, I was responding to the she should go to jail comment because I'm like, well, sometimes some women don't know.
Right.
Sometimes
Well, I
you
mean,
do
if you
not
don't
know.
know, if you don't know, you don't know, right? But sometimes, so you may have a normal relationship or normal marriage, and nothing has happened, but over time things change and something happened. And even though you may be married to this man 10, 15 years, and everything was fine before, but this incident happened, it still have to be addressed. It doesn't matter that he was a wonderful husband and father for 15 years, something happened.
There's thoughts.
Things change.
Thinking.
The dynamic of the relationship has changed. And so often, as we're gonna see as we progress through the movie, where a lot of times the mother don't even believe the child, or the adult don't even believe the child.
Once again, we go back to being blinded.
Right.
Because they want to be in this relationship so bad, they don't see the signs.
Even after their child tells them, they should believe the child.
True.
So here, this man is here, Uncle Reggie, and this is the way he's talking to this 8-year-old.
But the 8-year-old was a little smarter because she was like,
It's good.
I guess she
she-
felt some kind of way. She
Right,
felt weird.
and that's the thing. We know. I mean, God give us sense. I mean, we talk about. Remember, this class is about emotional health, right? And a big part of our emotional health is our feelings. We feel things. Sometimes we don't understand why we feel the way we feel, but we feel things. And I'm hoping that when we get into the next week that I can wrap it up and really dissect our emotional health, which is really our soul. Our soul is where our feelings are. Our mind or will, our emotions, that makes up our soul. And so, and we know that our soul connects to God if you're a believer, right? And so, these feelings that we get is for a reason. It's for us to, it's like an alarm clock in our body. And you may not know exactly what it means, but it's telling you something is not right or something is right.
So that makes sense that when you are abused, that you get mad at God and you hate God because you think why? Because you said your soul is connected to God. So,
Right.
and it harms your soul when you're abused, so therefore it harms the relationship that you have with God because you're feeling like, why did He allow this to happen?
Right.
So you're justified by being angry at God when that happens?
Well, it's natural to be angry with God because, okay, God, you care about me. Why would you
Let this happen.
allow this to happen to me? Okay, so we see how Uncle Reggie started his little process with, what is this? With little Michelle. Okay, how do I get rid of this and get back to where it was?
Click the movie down there on the right.
Oh, yeah.
It's already in the movie, so the top.
This is, I think, a different.
This kid makes stains like crazy, so we got our new HE washing machine, but it took forever.
Turns out it wasn't the machine, it was our detergent.
Skip through them, man.
I'm gonna, it has to come out because it's good. Or this.
It's hard to see, I can't
Could
see.
you turn the light again?
Yours closer, here.
What happened there?
He finally got to her, and then she grew up thinking that's how it was supposed to be.
Right. So let's start.
She told, but apparently.
Right. So if you had to listen, so obviously he raped her, and she was a virgin. You see the blood, and the mother. If you heard the words, the mother actually thought she had her period.
Yeah.
She assumed. She didn't ask her why. She assumed she had her period. At least that's what she wanted to believe, right? And she did tell her that Reggie hurt me, and she tell her pretty much she's too fast. She's fast. Like she.
It's her fault.
She had like one of her little boys come. It's one of her little boyfriends that did it, not this uncle Reggie. And we knew from the onset when he was talking to her about how she looks, he knew what his goal was. He knew at the right time, when he gets the opportunity, he is going to take that child's innocence. And, most of these things are not by accident. Sometimes, we've been together so many years and all that. It's not by accident, This is a whole different class, but you would not like to know how many times a day a man thinks about sex. It's like all the time. All the time. And you wonder, how could he do this and how could he do that? It's an action. They're not saying, this is an innocent child, no. And so, what I want to do right now is to stop. Take your pen and pencil. Can you relate to anything that you just see out of those two clips? Write it down. You don't have to talk about it. You can write it down. You don't have to put your name on your paper. You don't have to identify any person. But can you relate to anything that you saw in that movie? All right. And this is just a start for some of you, and I would encourage you to, when this is over, to continue with your writing. And I want us to talk about now, because we are all adult women now, right? So if you're an adult woman that has experienced something like that or anything similar or anything along the lines of sexual trauma, how is it impacting your life today? Right? We saw Michelle as she got older. What are some of the things that we saw?
She in prison.
She
She was in prison. Why was she in prison? Right.
drugs and alcohol. She turned to drugs and alcohol.
She turned to drugs and
Prostitution,
right. She turned to drugs and alcohol. What kind of abusive relationship, right? And we saw her in prison. Why was she in prison?
For killing betrayal.
She killed him. But what does that indicate?
Anger.
Anger. She was carrying that anger for so many years. She was carrying that anger. And it didn't matter that he was in church. And at this point, you see he was barely walking, he was sick. I think he may have gotten hurt or something. Yeah, I think he had gotten beat up or shot or something. But you see he was trying to turn his life around, but it didn't matter to her, she was still angry.
She had every right to be.
He destroyed her life.
She had every right to be.
So she killed him.
Vindicated.
Right, see, I mean, you see that man she was involved with, right? How he was always in her face. So let's,
Her mother was in her face first.
yeah, right.
That's terrible. How that feel like? You gotta lose your breath to even walk in the other room because you're not sure what's gonna happen, like that. That panic, that you can't breathe kind of feeling, like you're being suffocated.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into the room past that person that you know is bothering you, it's like being a prisoner in your own home, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so what are some of the things that we experience after being through sexual trauma that we are living out today? What did you say, Sharon? Some of the things that we are experiencing now as adult women.
Bad decisions.
Depression?
Of what happened to us?
Yeah.
Depression.
Depression. Some people are still suffering from depression.
Yes.
Right? Because it was never dealt with.
Anxiety.
Self-blame. Anxiety. Anything else? You said something?
Self-esteem.
Poor self-esteem. I mean, talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that, right?
Poor decisions.
Poor decisions.
Not wanting to be touched. I don't like to be touched. Do
Don't
not touch me. I don't like it.
Don't want to be touched, right? Because that memory comes back.
Anger.
What'd you
He
say?
put his arms out to her and she didn't want it.
Right, because she probably, that experience as a child probably flashed in front of him, like she saw him, but she's not seeing him in the church, she's seeing him in the house, get ready to do what he did to her.
Flashback.
Yeah. Right, and talking about flashback, you know, a lot of times when we talk about PTSD, we associate it with the military. But sexual trauma
Is
PTSD.
post-traumas.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder is very much related to sexual trauma. And that, you know, the touching or the not wanting to be touched, the replaying, you know, the incident, the hypervigilance. Just recently I was talking to someone who was abused as a child, and now they have children of their own, and every single day they're asking their child, did anybody touch you today? Now we know that's a bit excessive, right?
Yeah, that's unhealthy.
It is unhealthy, but she wants to make sure that what happened to her, that does not happen to her children. So it gives you that anxiety, you know, that, you know, hypervigilance. Yeah, you want to be vigilant, but, you know, hyper, you're taking up to the you know, 10 notches, right? Because a lot of times, especially, I could imagine Michelle, one of the things, I mean, you know, in the movie, she didn't have children or anything like that, but I'm sure if she had children, that's probably one of the things that she would probably be careful with, making sure that she didn't have a man in the house with her daughter. Maybe. Now, some people go the very same route and did exactly what their mom did, because it's kind of,
It's a cycle.
Yes, a cycle.
Generational.
Right, it's a cycle.
Generational curse.
Yeah. You know, so it can go either way. What else?
What else would?
What else we do? What
Let's
else
say
we?
something true.
Yes, Miss Butter.
In my household, when my son was growing up, wasn't nobody there with me and my son and God. I didn't have no man living under my roof.
Mm-hmm.
It always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why did you make that decision?
I didn't trust him. I didn't want him to try to fool my child.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been in the place where she would have been in today.
Mm-hmm.
I still would have been there. I don't play that.
Right. And that's a decision a lot of women make, that, you know what, I'm just gonna have to, and not that they don't date or whatever, but they don't bring them home.
No, I do not.
You
I
know?
live alone, and me and God live alone.
Mm-hmm.
And my son is married, going about his married business. But I live in my house, me and God.
That's right.
And I like it like that, and I'm gonna keep it like that.
Anything else?
Self-loathing.
Self-loathing. Explain, unpack that first, Miss Debbie.
You just hate yourself for allowing something like that to happen.
That's
And you
not
just-
self-loathing.
you- because you hate yourself, you mistreat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You take
That's not
fault
what that
upon
means.
yourself.
That's not what that means.
Right. Self-loathing is more like an elevation of yourself, right?
Well, it's in my poem, that's how I know.
Huh?
Self-loathing,
Right.
yeah.
But I think you mean more
Hatred, self.
more self-hatred, more
That's what loathing
self-depreciation.
is. That's what
Loathing, that's what loathing
is.
means?
Yeah, hatred, yeah.
Self-hatred?
I know.
You blame yourself.
I don't think, I might go,
Okay, well, she means
Self-loathing.
self-hatred.
Self-loathing is blame yourself.
Yeah, putting yourself
It's your
in.
fault.
Yes.
Right,
That it happened.
self-guilt.
Right.
Intimacy.
right. And, yeah, like, you know, who said that? Oh, saying how could I allow this to happen to me?
Okay,
Miss Debbie.
self-hatred is also called self-loathing.
Right, that's what she
That's
said.
what she said.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Right.
That's what she said.
Right,
No, I was just
right.
making sure.
Right. The truth is, though, let's go back to Michelle. Did she allow that to happen to her?
No.
What was her options?
She didn't have one,
Just
actually.
as self.
No, I
But
mean,
after
this is
she told, it was like she was on her own. You know, that's how she felt.
right.
You know, because the person that you should be able to go to talk to, she blames you. You know, so that makes a person go within themselves. You know, if I told, I guess, her mother. So if I tell somebody else, are they gonna feel the same way? So we suppress a lot of that stuff. You know, and doing the same thing but looking for different results.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't happen.
No. Yeah. Well, she really didn't have. I mean, she's at home. He comes to her home.
Right.
That's where she lives. Where's she gonna go?
Exactly.
You know. And he's a grown man. I mean, she tried.
She fought.
She fought. She tried. But she just couldn't defend herself from this grown man. Right? Now,
Needed some air.
something that we didn't necessarily see in the movie Did you think that her mom had any inclination?
Yes.
Why
She
you
was
say
in
yes?
denial.
She was in denial. Why was she?
Because she said, because you fast and it's probably one of them boys
Period, and
there.
the period thing, got your period, and you check.
You know, she know it wasn't no boy in the house. She know it was only two of them in the house.
Right.
You know, from what I seen, it was only them two. So he was probably gone or asleep somewhere because he was intoxicated. It looked
Right.
like it. He probably was asleep somewhere. The mother wasn't home, so when the mother come home, he knocked out probably clothes all disarrayed, and your daughter's sitting in the closet bleeding. Okay, put two and two together. Something happened. Ain't no boy just come in here and do that, and then he did. And this man is in the room, in the living room or wherever he was. So she knew, like it goes back to once again, she was so blinded by love, she was in denial.
Right. And another thing I just think about, she said, "Oh, you had your period." Well, I don't know if she had already started having her period, but even
right. Well, let's
most
go.
time it doesn't come down full like that to mess up your
Right.
clothes like that on the first day.
And then you'll go hide in the closet.
Yeah.
Well, that I hid. 'Cause I thought somebody had cut me. While I was cut.
Right? So there were so many things, you know, and we cannot forget mother instinct. And we know different times when she entered the room and the child is acting a little
Funny around him.
Right.
That's blinded. Because she wanted to be in this relationship.
She
so
wanted to
bad.
be in this relationship.
Whatever worked for him worked for her, even if her child got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, which is sad. It's really sad. Because, you know, there's people right now going through that. It wasn't my situation was just shoved underneath the rug, you know. Until it happened to another family member, that's when all of it came out, you know, which once it all came to a head, I wasn't the first and only one. And when my girls, you know, started, when they were little and he was anywhere around me, oh, come give Uncle such and such, I don't say no names, a hug. Oh, no, they will not. Well, can I walk them to the store? No, you cannot. Well, why are you acting like that? You think about it. You know, it's just, I didn't pass it on to them, what happened to me, but I prevented it. You know, if they had to be in his presence, oh no, you was not going to be alone in his presence. For no reason.
And he act like nothing that didn't
And that's the
happen.
same guy that did the,
Right. It was no way,
no.
excuse me, in God's good earth, I was going to leave my kids knowing what he had done to me and others in the family unattended.
So now that brings up another question. Many times when that happens, then the girl hates men. And doesn't want anything to do with men. Right?
On some occasions, but that was my case.
Right. Yeah, and that creates, needless to say, sexual trauma most often creates sexual diversion. And when I say diversion, I mean you approach sex in an unhealthy way. Whether it be getting into unhealthy relationship, domestic violence, abuse, just out there promiscuity that you just give it to anybody who is available. You know, just numerous things. A lot of it stems from
And there's usually like
sexual
no
abuse.
middle.
No.
There's no middle
There isn't
ground.
middle.
It's either way this way or way the other.
Right. Even people who enter into same-sex relationship, especially the men, they have been abused. They have been abused. Women, some of them, like I said, promiscuous, and some of them absolutely nothing to do with men. Because your first reference point is somebody that hurt me and abused me. Why would I want to be with a man? So, I mean, as we go back, I mean, we can see how destructive this is. The other point I want to talk about is reporting. So many of this go unreported. And I go back to you, Rakonda. Obviously it was not reported, right? Now, do you know if you were the first,
No, I
the
wasn't.
second, but you
I
definitely
wasn't
was not the
first.
last?
I wasn't the first, I wasn't the second, and I wasn't the last.
Okay, so
I
you were
wasn't
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So what would have happened if the first person had reported it?
Well, from my understanding, she did tell, but it was like, shh, ain't nobody do no such a thing, and that was the end of it.
Well, a lot of time, reporting meaning going outside of the family, telling
No,
a teacher,
After,
telling
no,
her.
it was told to elder of the family, which we was always told there's something going on. Listen to your elders.
Well, and that's.
So, and then after that was told to them, shh, don't be telling nobody what's going on in this house. So it was never told outside of the home.
Right. And that's usually the problem because nobody wants to
Deal
They're
with
out
it.
30
deal with it, dismantle the family. But if you had told the teacher,
Oh yeah.
it would have been dealt with.
But see, like I said, once again, the way I was raised, I told, you know, who I thought would do something about it, but didn't. So, and then once again, be quiet, don't be saying nothing like that. So, it was never told outside of the house.
Right, and usually that's what happens. I mean, you may tell somebody in the family, but it's either sometimes you're not believed, or even if it's even if you're believed, you know, this is our family business. This stays within our family. But think about how many other women in that family could have been spared that experience.
I was surprised to find out how many, but it's just.
Right, and that's the thing. A lot of times, there are many people in the family that's experiencing the same thing by the same person, and nobody knows but that one person. And that one person thinks, I'm the only one. And in the meantime, there's several. Sherry?
About 2 months? You said you got 2 months?
18 months.
18 months?
He probably got a plea or something. Yeah,
How
but he
many
probably.
months?
Yeah, but he got out at, I think it was 10 months, he got out, 11 months, something like that, you know, and
You get more time for killing an animal than you do a person.
it's crazy. And then, the second time, but I didn't bother.
In my situation, it's a little bit different because I didn't remember. Because I was 3, my sister was, I was 4, we were young, and I was like, I had nightmares like throughout the years, but I didn't know what they were or what they meant, but I wake up and scared and that, you know, couldn't breathe, and just like stomach, just that feeling, but I didn't know what it was from, until I was like 18, 19, like around that age, so I didn't know. But then my sister and I had a conversation, and as soon as she mentioned the name, and you remember this situation, he had named it, you know, I told you about, yeah. So, when she said that, it's like all these memories started flooding back, and then, so.
Because you were suppressing it.
So,
trying to
it was
get rid
like
of it.
really, I don't know, I still kind of have nightmares still. You know, same one, every night. That's when I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning, same one, every night, every same time. Really weird, but, so you really can't report something that you don't know. And then the statute of limitations usually run out by the time you do recall some of these incidences, you know? And the person doesn't leave. I mean, he left, like, as soon as the abuse, it seems like the abuse stopped, and then he jetted. He went to Buffalo, New York, from what I know, from what I know. And asked my sister and I if he could, his sister and I if he could bring us back a present. And he left. That's the last time I seen him. So, I mean, we don't know where he's at or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't
It's
been.
more prevalent than we think because in the 50s nobody talked about it, but it's been going on, and you know that's how people are able to get by with it because it is a silent crime. Everybody's ashamed and embarrassed and won't talk about it, and the perpetrator gets by with whatever they're doing for years and years.
Yep. And then a lot of times the woman or the victim, she's treated or he's treated like they're the one that committed the crime.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, it's like being molested all over again. Because you put yourself out there and they're asking you 1,001 questions like,
You have to relive it, and then you don't get nothing. No, nothing. So.
yeah. But anyway, I mean, we can spend a lot of time on it, but I want to go on to the next step. And we talked about, so one of the things we have to do is to admit, which we did at the beginning, right? We raise our hands and say, this happened to me. The next thing that we need to do is to identify the wrongdoer. Who did something wrong? Did you do something wrong? No. So who did something wrong? Whose fault was it?
The perpetrator's fault.
The perpetrator.
A lot of times the victim
So-
will blame themselves.
Right, so you didn't do it to yourself. So you need to write that down. I did not do this to myself. And you write down who did that to you.
You know by trying to write.
Write it down. Who did something to you?
I can't write it down.
Oh man.
You already did. And the next thing, which is really the most important step. Yeah, and in some cases, right now, it may not be, but like, you know, when the incident happened, one of the most important step is for it to be reported. A lot of time, if somebody in your family, and you know, you tell this to your children, if somebody, tell as many people until you get somebody that's going to believe you. This is what you teach. It may be too late for you, but it's certainly not too late for your children and your grandchildren. Tell somebody until somebody believes you. So if mama don't believe you, you go to grandma. If grandma don't believe you, go to grandpa. If grandpa don't believe you, go to auntie. Go to the teacher, go to the Sunday school teacher, go to somebody that's going to listen to you. But the most important step is forgiveness. And why is forgiveness important?
How do you forgive somebody
For
over
yourself.
yourself?
For yourself. You know, a lot of times we hold on to unforgiveness thinking we're hurting the other person. I am never going to forgive him. I'm never going to forgive him. Guess who you're hurting?
Yourself.
You know, I had someone said one time that holding on to unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. If you drink poison, you're the one that's going to die.
Part of forgiving the person means letting go of the anger. If you let go of the anger, that means you gotta let go of the situation. And some people do not want to let go of a situation that they own, that they've been through, because if you let go of that, then it's like forgetting that it ever happened. It's not okay.
But if you don't let go of a situation, then the healing process can't begin. So you're basically killing yourself from the inside, and the person that did it to you has probably forgotten all about it and he just doesn't even care
But
anymore.
also, you have to, at some point forgive him, because in the long run, it shows that he still got control of it.
Yep.
He or she or whatever the situation still got control
Well,
of
as long as you
'Cause
still
they
have
sleeping
nightmares
every
about the
night.
situation, I'm sure they still have control. You can't help what you do in your.
But if you start to forgive, maybe the nightmares will go away also.
Right, I mean,
It's a constant
because,
reminder of what happened because you're letting yourself remember it.
and part of forgiving is, it's not like you forget. Forgive doesn't necessarily mean forget.
Right.
Right? Forgiving is more of a surrender, a releasing. And really, we're talking about sexual healing. Right? If we want to be healed, that's an important step. That's an important step. Forgiving that person. And so, I'm going to ask you to start writing. You're not going to finish here, and I would encourage you to take it home and finish it. But start writing a letter to that person. Dear so-and-so, you did so-and-so to me when I was such and such, and every detail that you can remember. When I was 3 years old and I was getting ready to take my bath, and you did so and so and so.
I think you and I can work on this at another time. I don't think I'm ready for that right now.
Okay.
I think that'd probably be better for me. Blood pressure can't be going up.
You don't remember the incident, but you know me. Okay, just what you remember. But the important thing, you want to identify the perpetrator, right? And the reason why you want to remember the details, or at least identify the details, because you want to be able to surrender it. You want to be able to release it.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you carry that kind of anger and unforgiveness, it can cause real physical illness in your own body. I believe that unforgiveness and anger can cause cancer. I believe that.
So start writing to that person. Identify what that person did, and let them know, you did this to me. You did this to me. I was an innocent child, and you violated me. You took advantage of me. Or whenever it was. You may not have been a child, you may have been a teenager. Maybe it was a date rape. You may have been an adult. Okay? Maybe you even may need to forgive a few people. Because, believe it or not, sometimes it's several experiences. So you may have been molested as a child, and then you're in high school and you were gang raped, right? Or then, you may have been in a relationship where, a man just, anytime he feels like. And sometimes, and like we saw in the video, sometimes they do it like as a punishment. Because we know, who likes to have sex when they're married?
Nobody.
Nobody wants to have sex when they're married.
I like to have sex, period.
You do?
I do. I ain't gonna lie about it.
She likes to throw people around, that's why. She will throw them against the wall.
So you're going to be in a drag-out argument.
Makeup sex. That's what it's called.
No, but you're going to be in the middle of, I'm not talking about when you cool down. I'm talking about you're in the middle of a drag-out argument, yelling and screaming, and then your husband grab you and start forcing himself on you. And
It ain't forceful with her, she like that.
What?
Okay. Makeup sex.
Her business. What?
You're in front of the camera.
Huh?
You're in front of the
I don't know what I
camera.
said. I gotta go because
Okay.
I'm delirious right now. My head hurts. Gotta go. Bye-bye.
All right. So if you're in the middle of an argument, I mean, I'm a serious argument, I mean, you're mad.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
And why is that?
I don't. Do you really want me to say it?
Yeah, we're all adults here.
Say I got their approval not to.
I know. I already know.
All right, so
If she wanna share,
so we
she
want to
can.
now.
I just like it rough.
Oh, you like it rough? Okay.
But they have their cutoff moment. They got
Yeah,
their
we
red
do.
light. You know when it okay too rough. We talk. That's my homies. We talk. Matter of fact, we just talked about this 2 days ago.
And basically, it's like I say, you know, if you don't have hair on your hands or bruises on your body, you ain't doing nothing right.
That's her motto.
Well, we did say,
Sorry,
there's some diversions that occur, right? So
TMI, too much information.
Right?
TMI.
She said it, not me.
I'm not gonna say that was my room, just to be seen.
and exactly, and that's another issue. You know, where people, handcuffs, whips, and chains, and all that.
No, we don't. No.
No, that's. It smells so like coffee.
You sure?
I love coke.
I'm positive.
It smells
I don't. It has to be like the hands.
Why should they coffee?
The hand.
The hands, you know, and
Pulling you
Is that coffee?
She gonna be making
All
her
right,
point
let me
when she
make an
get home.
announcement. That is not normal
I love coke.
that is normal
for you.
She gonna be making an appointment with you for next week, so y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna.
You done got her in trouble now, stop.
I'm honest, that it is normal. And
For you, it's normal.
yeah, but not for other
Apparently
people.
for Robert's
I
not
know.
true because he's the out.
Maybe they just do it clear brands, but it's usually rough.
Right, my husband likes it rough too.
There you go.
So,
We're hoping unless there's a third party.
just don't check his body because that boy's scarred.
Well, anyway, besides
I'm glad
my
Mary's not
friend
in there.
over here, I'm not gonna call her name.
Who, me?
Yeah, because
Hi,
this
Shay.
is being recorded, so I'm not gonna call you.
Well, you the one that told me to say it.
But
She just doesn't even know what to say now.
I know.
The voice has been changed to protect the innocent.
I think she caught her off guard.
Yeah, but let's do that. Go through that, writing that person, let them know what you did was wrong. And sometimes someone would violate you and call it sex. Trying to
Exactly.
make you think you're crazy, and what happened did not happen. So you need to let them know. I did not consent to this.
Oh, you know you liked it.
You violated me.
They make it look like it's your fault, not theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No means no. Be quiet, Sharon.
Yeah, but they don't know what no means when they want it.
No means no.
No means
They'll
no.
take it.
Whether you married or whatever, no means no.
I know what you're saying.
You don't know the perpetrator's name?
To those who hurt me.
Okay,
Just put it to
right.
those who hurt me.
There you go, to those who
Those
hurt
who
me.
hurt me.
Yeah.
Is that for next year?
Yes.
You need a hug? You okay?
And so you want to continue writing this in detail. Like I said, you more than likely would not finish it here, but I'm going to encourage you to continue and get specific as you can. And then when you're done, you say a prayer. And you ask God to forgive the person. You tell the person in the letter that you forgive them. But you also ask God to forgive them. And ask God to help you to forgive them. Okay?
Let's say something sure.
Yes.
My cousin came to see me yesterday, right? He lives up top. He lives up top of the hill. He said, "Cuz, so I asked you a question." I said, "Yes." He said, "Have you ever been good for a lady. I said, no, I was with a man. No. I'm like, why do you ask me that? No.
He asked you if you were ever been molested?
No,
been a
been
lady.
men, been for lady. No, I don't do that. No, I like men. No.
Well, that's a bigger thing to ask.
I don't like to ask you something like that.
Right.
No.
Get out of my face and don't ask me stupid questions.
Yeah, to hear a kinky story.
Well, he was doing drinking, yes. That's
Okay.
drinking.
Oh,
It was the drinks talking to him. That's what
Oh,
it was.
We call that stinking thinking.
But
I mean, I don't have nothing against gay being gay, because I have gay people in my family, you know what I'm saying? It don't hurt, I mean, I don't have against, you know, I know what I do and what I don't do, you know. It was just drinks talking to him. He always come on, he talk about, oh, cuz, you know, when you want my cousin, he be mine. Oh, look, come on now, go ahead now. It's time, you got to go, it's time to go.
Shit, my mom's gay,
That explains a lot.
but I'm allergic to that.
no naming names.
My mom ain't.
We don't know her mom.
Right.
Nobody knows here.
Somebody may see the video and see you're like, oh, I know her mother.
And they didn't say her name and they don't know who I'm talking. They don't know who's talking.
It's not me. She calls me mom. It's not me.
No, she's straight.
It's not me.
Yeah. So,
Ain't nobody on it.
so I'm gonna encourage you to, you know, continue that letter and release that person
Actually, it's facing.
so that you can go on with the rest of your life. You know, that person have taken up enough space, have been living rent-free in your life for too long. And look at, once you do that, pay attention. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you tolerate when it comes to your sexuality, you may not want to tolerate it anymore.
See, I've never been molested, nothing like this, so this is something new to me looking at something like that. I never been like, you know. My mother had 3 girls, she was overtaken like I was.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't molested, I was abused.
Right.
I think they love me too much. I got too much love.
That's why I think I like it.
You would talk them right out of it, Miss Butter. I'm sorry. You would talk them right out of it.
But just a few nuggets as we wrap this up. If this is something that you have experienced, you definitely want to work through it. In therapy, in groups, there's all kind of groups for people who have been sexually abused. Deal with it and change the course of things in your life. I mean, a lot of women are living in unhealthy relationships,
Yes, they are.
stemming back from those early experiences. You know, because you can develop some self-hatred after experiencing something like that. And, you know, learning self-love and how to stand up for yourself is important. All right?
Give me that list again. It was, the first thing was admit it happened.
Right.
Number 2 was,
admit that it happened, understanding that it's not your fault, and confronting, and that could mean telling somebody, confronting, reporting. Reporting is a very important step that gets missed. If you report it to the right people, it's often confronted.
And keep reporting until you find someone that will believe.
Yeah, especially for a child. You know, and you know, so I have come across adult women who still have like family members in their family that did something like that to them as a child. And nothing, you know, it's not spoken of. And I had, a couple years ago, this woman, I think she was about 42, when she confronted her perpetrator, which was a family member, and he totally denied, and that's what they did. He totally denied that he did what he did to her.
My uncle, and my mom had taken me over to his house anyway, and she knew that it happened, but she never, you know, told anything about it. And I kept telling my mom, I don't want to be near him. But I was like a teenager, and so she still kept taking me over. But I mean, I only remember like one incident, because I was old enough to remember. She had taken me to the doctor when I was little, and I knew that it was happening, but she never did anything about it. And well, he had a massive heart attack when he was like 30.
And he died from the heart attack?
Yeah.
Wow.
God did something about it.
38, that's young.
Yeah, yes it is, yes it is.
Yeah. And
But nowadays, are they teaching in schools, helping children know how to deal with something like that?
yeah, in school they're teaching it, and you know, and not only that, teachers, counselors, and all that are so trained now that you can a lot of times know that something is wrong. You may not know specifically what's wrong, but sometimes you can tell, because it changes the child. I mean, you can have a child that was bubbly, happy, and all that, and all of a sudden
They just go
they isolating themselves, and even parents. You know, if you have a nice bubbly child and all of a sudden they don't want to go out, they're always in their room, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to go near a certain family member and things like that. All those are hints. You know, so, and it is happening more and more at her. You know, it is so prevalent, it's unbelievable. But like I said, I really encourage you to protect the young people in your life, your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, any child that you,
even outside kids, you know.
That you come into contact with.
Right. Now, sure, I'm gonna say one thing about me. I grew up with sisters. I'm a very overprotective of girls. That's in me.
Nowadays you gotta do it with boys.
Boys too, yeah. Yeah, but I'm
Because
just
it's even more
overprotective.
so.
Yes. I'm just overprotecting the kids. I love kids, you know. I'm like this. As long as children are happy, I'm happy too. When they say it, I'm saying it too. You know, I love children.
But that's us as adults. That's why we need to be
the Lord
there
just
for
blessed me with that one child, but I just love kids. I wish I could have had more, but you know, I thank the Lord for my son now.
And how about the things he gave you what you can handle?
Yeah, that's true.
That go for you too, Angie. You
And
got double trouble.
He gave me that boy, and I wanted that son, somebody to protect me. You know what I'm saying? He always told me, "Oh, Mom, you had a girl." I said, "Well, it would have been okay. God would have made a way. It would have been okay."
You be just a little bit more grayer.
Well, yeah.
I've been pulling your hair out.
So any other questions, comments?
I guess talking about it today, it's not taboo. Back in the 50s and earlier, it was taboo. Nobody told on anyone. They didn't want to hang that shame on the family name. So now it is upfront. More people come forward about such things. It was happening all the time.
Oh yeah.
More like Tyler Perry said, you need to tell these children the truth.
That's right. Yes.
They tell who?
These
Children. You need to tell these children the truth.
Yes.
Because when the truth come out, that's when they react. You gotta tell them the truth.
Right.
You can't sugarcoat it. You got to tell them the truth.
Yes.
Just like with my addiction and my kids, I lied to them for so long, and now that I'm in my clean state of mind, they come to me, they say, "Oh, mommy, we knew." And do you know how that make me feel?
Right.
Like, wow, I didn't hide it good enough, but now I try to be upfront and honest with these kids because they need the truth and they got to hear it from home because they gonna get it all kinds of ways in the street.
Right.
And I told my girls, I don't care what it is, who it is. If anybody touch you inappropriately, you tell me because ain't nobody gonna hurt me. Because see, that's what the thing was. When I was younger, you know that they do the threats. They threaten to kill this person, threaten to kill people that you care about, which will scare a little child.
Sure. Yes,
I told my kids, ain't nobody gonna hurt me.
That's right.
And ain't nobody gonna hurt your siblings. If somebody touching you wrong, you tell me.
That's right, that's right. Exactly.
And I'm going to listen to what my kids say.
That's right.
And I'm going to investigate.
That's right.
And if it's not true,
naive.
and if it ain't true, I'm going to address that situation too.
That's
right.
Don't be naive.
No.
I just like someone close to me, a young fella that has Asperger's. He seems like he's as innocent as can be, and he may very well be. So he plays with a younger child because he's a little bit immature, you know.
Yeah,
and I told the mother, I said, let me tell you right now, I said, you need to not be naive just because he seems so innocent.
Yeah, right,
he's
right.
still a boy in a boy's
That's
body.
right, that's right,
I
that's
said,
right,
just, you need
exactly,
to
yeah.
watch over, don't
That's
leave
right,
him alone.
exactly, that's right.
You know, don't be naive.
Uh-huh.
Don't be naive.
Yeah, and a lot of
I know,
times
I'm
too.
on it. Like because there's somebody that comes to our house occasionally to visit, and he's older, but as soon as he's there, I'm on like high alert.
Good.
That's
know?
right, yeah.
High.
I mean, like Miss Cheryl said, then,
Yeah, I mean,
and
it could
boys
be
don't think of
totally
anything else but sex.
innocent, right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I don't
Could be
know how young
totally-
it is when they start thinking about it, but, you know, that's on their mind.
Oh, yeah, Angel's right on the particular girl. She, you know, she stays on top of it. Yes, she does.
I think boys start at 12.
No,
What?
younger than that.
What?
Earlier.
Thinking about this.
Younger than that.
Oh,
Before
I
that,
know a little girl, 12 years
Please
old,
don't
got
say that.
pregnant with twins.
what?
By a little 12-year-old
yeah, but they
boy.
can,
But they-
can because kids, girls are getting their period at 8 and 10 nowadays. So if you can get your period, you can get pregnant.
That's
Yeah, my sister got pregnant at 13, I know. My sister got pregnant at
12 years old.
My neighbor showed my
in
son.
my daughter's class.
Right, and that's,
My sister got pregnant at 13, so I know.
and another thing that you have to be aware of is remember, there's some adults that are doing so much adult things in front of their children.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right.
You know, and remember, children learn by what they see.
They're sponges.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're sponges. And you have to watch the adults that you have your kids around too.
Right, and who
And
tells you allowing
kids.
your children to watch
And
it?
kids, because my next door neighbor literally showed my son porn on his own phone.
Oh, my
Thank
goodness.
God they moved,
Dear Lord.
but when I confronted the parents about it, the father's reaction, oh, you're not gonna tell me they ain't no dirty sock upstairs. My son don't know nothing about that right now.
Yeah, right, that's right, yeah.
And he kept on saying, oh, you're just naive, you're stupid.
Yeah,
Oh, I
right.
think I
No,
told my
he's the
son.
stupid one because he know what
And
his
he kept
child
on,
is doing and didn't correct it.
Right.
and that kid was so perfect, trust and believe.
Yeah, right.
If that was my kid,
But you know what, like the old folks
and the only reason I
say,
found out was because my son came downstairs and asked me, can you show me how to do, look up Ninja Turtles on YouTube. So as soon as I hit the search button, porn with cartoons. I'm like, are you serious? Someone who did this?
But just like with Shanae, I'm going through something with her right now. I look at her Facebook, and there was something that she put on it I did not approve of because I got backdraft from my family. Said, what you doing up there? Why is this girl 15 and she pregnant? Well, who for pregnant? You know, it was something that she shared, but I was not in agreement with it, and I told her to take it down. Don't ever put it up again.
I saw your message.
You know, it was just not funny to me.
right, I know what you mean.
And nowadays you have to, from the time they know how to use a phone, you got
check
to
this
watch
stuff.
these
Yeah,
kids.
that's right.
And then and you gotta watch who they look up to too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you.
You gotta watch out who they look up to.
Christian little boy. Mary loves the Jesus. Don't be naive. No, don't be naive.
No, 'cause, I mean, and one of the things is you have, there are too many adults that not protecting children in terms of, I can't allow this child to see this. Just simply that. You know, I mean, the stuff that's on television, like you say, like porn is like watching the Cosby Show, no pun intended, but you know, watching
Look
like
at
a
Family
sitcom.
Guy.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
That's terrible. I don't look at that.
They see it in their cut in regular TV one time. When I was coming up, they didn't even curse on the TV shows I watched. Nowadays, it's every word under the sun.
Right.
Yeah, so,
the
you know,
TV
we just,
and media,
They
you have to
even
be careful.
show, I remember, they don't even show bras on TV.
Exactly.
Now they're
They
showing
show
half their
everything.
body.
Yeah.
Then you wonder why the kids want to do what they do.
In my house is I got to pre-listen to what you listen to, because if it's downgrading women, you're not playing it in my house.
Oh, no, but
Good for you.
That's just, you know,
Mama is in there.
and that hard rap.
I don't go for that rap stuff. No, not mine.
so,
Just gotta be careful.
Right.
that ends our class for today. Next week is our last class. We're gonna be talking about Daddy Pain.
Who?
What?
Daddy Pain, Daddy Pain.
Daddy Pain.
What's daddy pain?
If you, no.
Oh, daddy issues.
Right, if your daddy was not around. Well, that's
I call that daddy issues.
Oh, because daddy wasn't, oh, okay, around.
P-A-Y-N-E, right?
Huh?
P-A-Y-N-E.
No, Pain, pain.
Pain.
But
Yeah.
it's daddy issues. People
Right.
getting involved with
The pain.
women getting involved with
The
men
pain,
because they have daddy
P-A-I-N, that's
issues.
caused by your daddy not being there.
When my father died, I was 5, so yeah.
Yeah, there's some daddy pain that comes with that.
I didn't have anything happen.
And we're gonna talk about that. Whether he's not there because he died, or he was just neglectful, or he was wrong, whatever. If he wasn't there, he wasn't
Actually, I don't feel good.
What you want, old lady?
My grandmother raised me.
That's Francie.
What you want, old lady? You call her friend? Yeah. Call her your friend. What you want, old lady? I bet you do.
I'm working the show with Francie.